Hello there, and welcome to this session solving tactics on chesstempo.com with Advocate. So I think that here knight d5 is winning material. Knight d5, rook takes a6, knight c7 check will pick up the rook on a6. And the rook is pinned, so rook b7 is not on. Yep, and that just cleans it all up. Common mistakes made here. I'm going to guess just taking. Yeah, rook takes b6 check. Most common mistake. Probably people are assuming that this is winning. Don't think that they're wrong. I mean, obviously, black doesn't play this, but even this looks really bad for black. So if you played rook takes b6 to go for a winning endgame, this is the book line, which I have to say I don't agree with. I think that getting the passed pawn is much more, or starting to work the passed pawn is much more dangerous. Black to move, you're already a piece up, which is odd. But there's f5 check winning the rook on a6. Yeah. Mistakes made here, rook g6 check. Yeah, I definitely considered rook g6 check, but there's no checkmate here. It's just it's a very odd problem. This queen could very well be trapped. For example, rook b8. Rook b8, queen a6, rook b6, queen a7. Or I could just play knight a3. Because I don't see the queen trap. Rook b6, queen c6. Okay, if queen c6, then rook b6 would trap the queen. But after queen a6, rook b6, queen a7, I don't see a way to trap, so I'm just going to go for the knight fork. Oh, of course, yeah, of course you should take the queen. I just sort of shut my brain off there. I considered that line when I calculated at first, but I didn't play it out in my head, or play it out when it came across the board. That happens to me a lot. But yeah, obviously it's better to get two pieces for the queen than to be down a full rook. But I mean, still losing. I think I had this problem once. Queen d2 check picks up the rook on e1. And maybe there's a checkmate, but queen d2 check, king c4, and rook f4 check doesn't seem to be working. Rook a d2 check, most common mistake. Yeah, to be honest, I was, I remember doing this problem. I remember spending like 15, 20 minutes on this problem when I did it in another video for the 1400 to 1500 series. And it took me a long time in that video to realize that the rook on e1 was hanging. And any other continuations here? Any other alternates? I probably just lost everything. Let's see. That should be correct. Anyway, yeah, I was just when I did that problem just now, I just relied on the previous pattern that I had created in my brain for that problem, where the king chase is just not really worth it. Rook check, bishop takes. Doesn't seem to work. Queen h2. Queen h2 threatening h7 mates. The bishop needs to go to e5 or d4. And then I can play f6. No. Okay, so queen h2 feels like the move. And the queen must go to, or the bishop must go to d4. So the bishop d4 is the only move that doesn't lose material immediately to cover queen h7 mates. And then maybe I could play knight e7 check, queen takes h7. No, no. Oh, hum. Let's see. Queen h2, bishop d4. There's knight h8. If bishop takes h8, queen h8 checkmate. So knight h8, and let's say queen g7. Play f6. Doesn't feel like it feels like there should be something more immediate. Something a little bit more punishing. So queen h2, bishop d4. And there are many moves. There's f6, there's knight h8. There's, I guess there's knight e5 as well. Rook h8 I'm not really thinking about. Knight e7 check I'm not thinking about. But yeah, queen h2, bishop d4, and then knight h8. Okay, that seems a little bit premature. Oh, I see, I see, I see. No, I don't. I don't see. I'm not really. Yeah, so knight e5 was the move that I considered. And if bishop takes, queen takes. Yep. It's the most dangerous move in the position, but um, the real true complications behind the move I didn't really bother to calculate. Rook d1 check, king g2. I feel like this is one of those where it's like, surprise, it's mate. Looks like one of those problems. Now rook d1 check, king g2. There is queen e2 check, picking up the rook. That's one option. But rook d1 check, king g2, queen g1 check, king h3, queen f2 check, king h4, nothing. So yeah, I think just picking up the rook on c4 is going to have to suffice. So yeah, like I said, it's one of those surprise, it's checkmate. So queen h5 check, huh? Queen h5 check, king g2, rook d2 check, and then queen d1 is mate. Yep. Sergey Ivanov with the white pieces. Yeah, that's sort of intermediate check, Queen e2 check in order to get to the h5 square. Fair enough. Let's do a couple more. So can I take on c5? Can I take on c5? Queen takes c5. There's no counter desperado. So queen takes c5. If pawn takes, knight takes queen. Queen c5. If queen f7, king takes f7, pawn takes. Still up a piece. So yeah, I can take on c5. I'm not certain that that's the most trying, because this very passive. Queen d2 check, king f1. Bishop takes c3 check, pawn takes c3, queen takes c3 check, king f1, rook check. Nah, rook check doesn't exist. There's knight takes d1. Queen b1 check. Queen b1 check just to win the rook on h1. Queen b1 check, king d2, queen takes b2 check, king f1. So no, he'll get back to g2 to save. So yeah, queen b1 check just to pick up the rook on h1. That's not the most satisfying problem to finish a session on, but I think I'm gonna call it there. Even though this was an exceedingly short video, yeah, these problems are just a little bit too easy. Um, and I'm doing a horrible job at recording videos ever since I've gotten back on YouTube from being sick. Uh, just to, like, for some context, I was extremely sick for a month, and I took some time off of chess. And then when I got back into chess again, I was so bad that it really hurt. Like it hurts when I'm bad at chess. Like when I'm not playing well, I just want to cry. Um, it really hurts my sense of self, my self worth when my chest is bad. And so after my month of sickness, I took even more time off because quite frankly I was depressed about my chess ability. And it used to be, I think, that I was had a pretty good system. You know, I would go over the wrong moves in the position, but these days I'm doing pretty shit job at it. I'll get back into the swing of things eventually, but until then, you're gonna have to deal with some not the best quality of videos. So thank you so much for being here today. I'm not trying to be depressed. I'm actually in a very good mood today. Um, but I just I'm happy to sort of like be back in the swing of things. It's good to be here. So take care of yourselves, And until the next time, good luck with your chess journey. Bye bye.